friends, this is going to be a fun video. So it's all about PFTs, also known as pulmonary function tests. A great way to think of what this test is it's basically a test for people with bad lungs to find out how bad they are by people who administer with good lungs. Pretty much there's 4 different variables that determine your lung function. And that's what, when we get into it a little later on, I'll also explain what spirometry is and how to read your results. But pretty much, so we've got height. Okay, so the taller you are, the bigger your lungs are. Of course, the bigger your lungs are, the better your lung function is. For short people who have small lungs, bad lung function. Second, male versus female. Men tend to have better sized lungs. They tend to be wider. That's why. Surprisingly, race. So African Americans or black people, they tend to have longer legs, which unfortunately means they have shorter rib cages. So their lung function tends to not be as high. Male versus female, let's see that. And then age, yeah, age is a big one. So once you hit 25, you're pretty much at your peak, and then you start to taper down after that, even if you've never smoked. But this is not saying you should smoke, because smoking is bad. And I am very, very disappointed that my lungs are being destroyed naturally when other people are going out and choosing to destroy theirs. So don't smoke. And up next, we'll explain spirometry, and I will even show you what it's like to take the test. So basically, what you do is you take a really deep breath in, and then you blow it out as fast as you can, and you keep blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing until you start to cough or your face turns pink, and then they tell you to keep going. And what that's measuring is your full vital capacity. A typical person's at 6 liters, okay? And it'll tell you if you're, based on all those statistics we talked about before, it'll tell you if you have any obstructive lung disease or if you're at a diminished capacity. So when you get your PFTs, you'll see this thing called RV. Okay, that's residual volume. So remember, adult males, they do this, and they've got about 6 liters. But what's left after that 10 seconds is your leftover volume, or your RV. Okay. So your full vital capacity, or FVC, is all of your lung function for that 10 seconds. And the RV is what's left over inside your lung after that 10 seconds is over. Now the first second is what a lot of people pay attention to. That's your FEV1. That's what you can exhale in that very first second as you go to push the airs out of your lungs. Basically, this starts to where, when you see the trend in the graph, most people, if their lungs are healthy, you just see a very crisp line going down. But what tends to happen is when your lungs are obstructed, instead of this crisp line, you tend to see a bow in it. And that bow basically shows you where there's improvement to be made, whether there's a lung blockage, an infection, etc. So for example, when I do this test a little later on, I'm very fortunate in that this round I don't cough, but my lung function has this little curve instead of a straight line down. Hopefully that explains a little bit more about what PFTs are. If you have any more questions, don't ask me. I had to do a lot of research to figure this out. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a snapshot as to what they're like as they pertain to CF patients. All right, happy breathing.
So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Looks good. Keep going. Hang in there. Good.
As an inpatient, we usually do PFTs twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And the reason is pretty simple, actually. So they want to make sure that the drugs that they're giving us through our IVs are actually helping us. That plus the different nebulizations we do. So we can tell about every 4 days if there's an improvement in our lung function. And we have to stay on top of this, because if we don't, then that means we're on the wrong antibiotics and we have to change our entire system. So twice a week is how often we do them. And if you're liking these videos, go ahead, subscribe, because every time you subscribe or hit the like button, a CF kid somewhere breathes a little easier.